But yeah, that is a good point and a good idea. Was there anything more to that video, or they just I think she just talks about.
No, no, she goes through a lot of those. I do think that's a really great thing for some people. I'm a paper and pencil sort of person when it comes to budgeting. I really actually like physically writing it out. I have a worksheet I give my clients. I use it for myself, etc. So there's nothing wrong with doing it the super rote, old-fashioned kind of way. But I do think this is fabulous for people who really want to use technology to do it. They want something to pull their info, sort it for them, categorize it for them. And there's nothing wrong with finding a tool that'll help you do that for yourself, honestly.
Absolutely. Just remember, if you're doing something online and you're not paying for it, you are the product. So they're taking information from you and tracking your spending habits. So if you're a paranoid libertarian, that's probably not a good idea.
Right.
Oh, it was this one.
Inflation on the rise. Many families are rethinking their budgets to help offset household costs, and Deirdre Bolton is here with the tips you need. We were just talking about this in my house because everything is more expensive.
It sure is. I have two teenagers who eat a lot, so I am definitely feeling it personally now. The good news is that some groceries are cheaper than they were a month ago, but prices are still high. We have strategies to help keep more of your money in your pocket.
This morning, with inflation still near a 4-decade high and interest rates rising, families are scrambling to make ends meet.
The little things really do add up.
Farnoosh Torabi is a personal finance expert and says Americans can start by taking a deep dive into...
I gotta stop because we were talking about that earlier. The personal finance expert is a made-up title. It's not a thing. I hate it when people do that because it's basically it means that one day she decided to call herself a financial expert.
To how much they are spending.
We have these assumptions about what things are costing us or how we're spending, but we really don't know. Really get close with the numbers. The numbers will not lie.
We paired her with a newly blended family that just moved from Virginia to Florida and are rebuilding their lives in the Sunshine State.
So we're kind of working out, trying to get our budget set a little bit. It's been a little bit hard.
First up, Farnoosh helping Justice to go beyond stretching her budget to expanding it.
I see you have a dog. If you're already a family that likes pets, taking care of another pet.
I got it. You want to save money, Lacey? Eat Fido. Okay, you're not with me on that one.
On the weekends.
My oldest son already makes a little extra money a week feeding my mom's animals for her. I could look on the Rover and see if there's local dogs we can walk and stuff like that to earn money, because we do live in a good area.
Farnoosh recommends selling what they don't need, getting the whole family involved in the process.
Now you have these blended families. You probably have more stuff, or you've accumulated some more things in the last month, and if there is some stuff that you can sell, it's a great way to reduce waste, make some money, and again, it's something that's involving the whole family.
According to Moody's, the average U.S. household needs to spend $493 more per month to buy the same goods and services as it did a year ago. One big expense, groceries, up more than 12%. To deal with those rising costs, Farnoosh recommends planning as much as possible ahead of time, giving the family a chance to weigh in, and buying only the foods that will be eaten, even by picky eaters.
You give them one chance to weigh in early on Sunday before you go out and start shopping for things.
Other tips, Farnoosh recommends buying food in bulk and freezing it, and trying generic or store brands. For those who need flexibility with monthly bills, just ask.
You can actually change the due dates on your bills so that you can spread them out a little bit more to give you that wiggle room with your paycheck.
Check out some expense tracker app.
So,
what did you think about some of these tips, Duncan? I have to say, I really liked the one about getting the due dates on your bills altered. I don't think most people realize that you can do that. And you can't do that with every single bill, but I have gotten to change due dates on things before, and it can make a world of difference.
Right. Well, if your rent's coming out in the first of the month, and sometimes that's a pain for people who get paid every 2 weeks. or every week, because then like, okay, all your money for that 2 weeks went to rent, or a big chunk of it did. So yeah, if you can get it and move it to maybe like the middle of the month kind of thing for stuff like that, then yeah, then you just half of that money you save for the rest of the for that half of the rent payment. And then when you get your next check, you pay it off, right? And then you're not struggling at the beginning of the month. Yeah, those are good tips. The things I always want to be careful with is whenever they talk about the inflation stuff, everybody was just to plan ahead. Um, that's great, but now we're in it, so it's not a super helpful tip, right? Other than next time this happens, well, great, but it's happening now. What do I do right now?
Right. The part that was not super helpful to me was the garage sale part. I mean, I'm a proponent of having them because we do have too much stuff and you can make some extra money, but that's not a monthly budget sort of thing that's going to happen. That's just a, like at
One
one
time,
point during the summer, or maybe you have one or two of them during the summer, and then you're done with that.
right? Or you can sell stuff online and blah blah blah.
Right.
You don't have to do the garage sale thing necessarily. She's suggesting that because they just got married and they each have kids, so they're trying to do something that's family oriented, right?
Right.
I mean, I can sort of see that, but it's also a little depressing, because the woman's talking about we're trying to get the budget together and they're having difficulty with it, right? So it's one of those things where if it's a tight budget, it's all right, everybody, as a family, we're gonna sell all this stuff at the garage sale because we're poor. You don't really want to do that with your kids.
Well, and not to mention, like I said, I think it's a wonderful thing to do, and it's something that my family did when I was a kid. We have garage sales
No.
periodically. I just don't.
It's the circumstance and how she's.
Well, yeah, it's how it's being pitched. So there's a mindset thing there that I don't love.
Right.
But also in terms of just straight up personal finance part, it's not really much of a budget tip because you're not going to have a garage sale every month to have income you're adding back into your budget from. It's like something you might do once or twice a year, right?
Yeah. The other thing that kind of killed me was, when you have like the inflation stuff, and we talked about this, I think in our first video, we talked about it's always the same thing, okay? No matter who tells you it is what it is. In finance, if you want to, like, if you're planning a retirement or you're whatever it is you're doing, whatever you're planning for in the future, if they're not financially there, or they can't make enough money to get there, right? Your options are basically you either have to make more money, right? If you can, spend less, or we can try to get your money to earn more money in your investments. But the problem with that is that we're going to take on a lot more risk. So there's more risk that you'll lose money. And those are basically kind of what the options are. Or you just have to lower your expectations. Right. Right. Or just, like if I talked to a client, I want to retire at 62. And it's like, well, you can't retire at the level you want to at 62, but you could at like 66, right? So it's either you need to make more money, you need to spend less, all right, or you just need to expect that you're working till 66.
Or you're planning on retiring into sort of a dialed back lifestyle from what you originally planned. And
like I said,
wrong with that choice too, but you have to be aware that might be the choice you're
making. Spend less, right? You won't have the extra money every month, right? That you were hoping to have. But yeah, so that's always kind of what it is. She's not doing anything real clever here. Yeah, I don't know. Honestly, it's like, here's a way to save money, and then they brought in the dog, and I'm like, oh no, what are they going to do to the dog?
No, it was their little dog walking business or taking care of people's dogs business. And you know what? I also don't think that's a budgeting tip, but it isn't a bad side gig sort of idea. So it certainly is a nice idea. Again, I don't know if I categorize it as a budget tip, but nice little side business. No, but it's like I said, it still falls into category 1 here, which is you have to make more money if you want to get this stuff done. So yeah, it is what it is.